Yo, what's up guys? d-cellgaming here, back with some more Evertale. And today we're going to be reviewing the new Rizette, the new water Rizette. I'm not really sure what to call her. Bunny Rizette, I guess. I don't know. Kind of losing track of all these different Rizettes and Astrids and Lamillas, but here we go. So my initial unfiltered thoughts on the new character is I'm excited that we're going to be getting a new dream character, and her design is ridiculous. And it's another Rizette. I'm really disappointed that we just keep getting the same. This is like the third or fourth Rizette that we've gotten like within the last few months. It's a little too much. Just the rehashing of Astrids and Rizettes and Ludmilla's really come across as lazy to me. I'm happy for a new dream type character, but at the same time it could have very well been like an upgraded Nagi. Like, I don't know, they could have just taken the old Nagi and gave him this skill kit, and then he would have been a better unit or just something. I don't know, it just feels kind of lazy. And alright, I'm gonna go ahead and skip right to the stats and the active skills and the passive skills for this one, because I'm pretty sure the summon menu is not going, YouTube's probably not gonna like it. So looking at her stats, we can see that she actually has pretty good HP. Her HP is decently high, especially for a damage dealer, and her attack is pretty good as well. 53,000 is a very high attack. Her speed is middle of the road at 344, and her leader skill is kind of meh. Allied water elements have their attack increased by 10 and their max HP by 7. I tend to like one or the other, either have much more HP or much more attack. Obviously, I think haste is probably the best leader skill, but they really haven't introduced any new leader skills, and I think that would actually be kind of interesting to see, but we have not seen any new leader skills ever, I don't believe. So let's go ahead and go over her active attack skills. She has sleep attack. For 130 time units, you will get 2 spirit and you damage one enemy with a 25% chance to make that person go to sleep. So you can apply it at a 25% chance, which is actually really good for a basic attack, and obviously sleep overrides anything else and you put that unit to sleep. For her second skill, she has forced sleep, and what this skill does for 70 time units and costing 2 spirit, you can put one enemy to sleep for 200 time units as long as no one else on the battlefield is asleep. So you can only use this skill if nobody else is sleeping on the enemy side. Now this is important to note because this is the only stipulation for the skill, which means so long as there's not a unit sleeping, she can use forced sleep to put at least one person to sleep. For her third skill, she has Dawn's Drain, which will do 300% damage to one enemy if they are awake after having fallen asleep while on the battlefield, and then heals the user for 50% of the damage or I'm sorry, of max HP if damage is dealt. So basically, if it does damage, she will heal HP back. It works just like any other drain, like poison drain, for example. Now, no healing will occur if the target is not awake after having fallen asleep. So basically, this is a skill that she can use if no enemies are asleep, or they've been purified, or if they have been awakened by being hit by another unit. She can still use Dawn's Drain to kind of finish them off and heal some health. It's kind of how this skill works. Then of course she has Dream Hunter, which is not new. We've seen this skill before. It's a massive 600% damage to 2 enemies if they're sleeping, and then you gain 3 spirit for each enemy hit that was sleeping. Moving on to her passive skills, she has Hold Ground, which is not new. We know what Hold Ground does, but then she has a new passive called Chain Sleep. Now what Chain Sleep does is it will target the enemy with the lowest TU and grant them sleep if Rizette hits a sleeping unit. So this is triggered whenever she damages an enemy who is currently asleep, and this works as kind of an interrupt for the enemy. So it will basically target the person next in line to attack and put them to sleep instead for 200 time units. So this is a very nice support slash interrupt passive. It's really seems pretty strong, honestly, but we'll dive more into that in a little later. The rest of her passives are Attack, Staff Hunter, HP, and Axe Mastery. Now let's go over some pros and cons of the new Bunny Rizette. So the pros, she is a very hard-hitting, high attack unit, and she hits 2 units with her sleep. So when she does her Dream Hunter, she will do 600% damage to 2 enemies, which is a very high damaging attack and enough to kill most things that she comes across. She can also at will sleep units so long as there's not anything sleeping on the battlefield currently. So for 70 time units, she can just put 1 person to sleep. This is very handy to have. Her basic attack also has sleep on it as well. So her basic attack doesn't just attack somebody, it also has a chance to sleep somebody else. So if you run out of options to do with her, her basic attack is still helpful. She can also deal damage outside of sleeping. So where most people, where most SSRs fall flat at is having that damage outside of things sleeping. So she can do 300% damage so long as something got awakened from sleeping. And her passive actually not only disrupts the enemy team, but it actively supports your own Dream synergy. So when she attacks somebody that is sleeping, she will actually put another unit to sleep who is next in line to attack you. So this is very good at interrupting the team's synergy and their bonuses, whatever they're going for, whoever they're like setting up to attack. This will kind of interrupt them, and it will support you by having another target for a Dream Hunter to use against. Now for her cons, her condition to self-heal and to deal damage outside of dreams is very limited. So somebody has to have fallen asleep first and then be awakened. So it can't just be used against someone who's not asleep. They have to have previously been asleep and then be awoken from that sleep. So this is important to know because most Dream Hunters are probably going to kill something. So this is her drain attack is kind of more of a finishing move to just finish somebody off who didn't die. So it's very limited in that regard. And with all dream units, dreams can have a ramp up time. So it can take time for the ball to get rolling, and faster synergies can kind of kill your sleep units before anything happens. So it can have a ramp up time with this. So keep that in mind as well. Her leader skill also not very useful. Pretty much anything outside of haste or large HP bonuses or large attack bonuses, kind of the middle of the road thing, in my opinion, is kind of a con. The last thing is she doesn't seem very useful outside of a synergy, dream synergy. Now, can she be used as a standalone? Kind of, yes. You can use force sleep and attack somebody and chain interrupt. She can kind of work, but honestly her 300% damage isn't as high as even Dark Rizette, who is like an older unit, and she does 400% on her drain attack. 300% is not really there, and couple that with the fact that it's limited in how it's going to unlock her self or her soloing abilities, really not as high as other characters. So where does Rizette fit in? And I think she's pretty much needs to be in some kind of dream team. Some kind of sleep needs to be happening for her to really do anything, especially considering her Dream Hunter needs 2 targets. So you really want to couple her with dream support and enemies that support teams like that. While she's inside that team, she will do a lot of damage. She will provide interrupts and also provide support for that synergy. But outside of that, her soloing abilities aren't really that high. You're better off sticking with somebody else. If you're just now building up a unit, you're probably going to want to stay away from her. But if you already have kind of an established dream team, she's going to be really, really good for that. So that's going to be it for today, guys. If you enjoyed the video, found it informative, or liked it in any way, consider liking and subscribing to the channel for more content like this in the future. Also, links to the Discord down below if you want to join our Discord community. We have about 85 people there now, very active. So if you have questions in the game, feel free to join, stop by, and ask us anything that you guys have questions or need help with. And as always, guys, I'll see you next time.